Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A correctional institution for those convicted of major crimes. Produce a literary work. A portable enclosure in which babies may be left to play. An enclosure for confining livestock. A writing implement with a point from which ink flows. Female swan. A correctional institution for those convicted of major crimes. Showing or constituting penance. Used for punishment or reform of criminals or wrongdoers. Penitentiary institutions. Make up plans or basic details for. Produce a literary work. She composed a poem. Put together out of existing material. Write music. Beethoven composed 9 symphonies. Calm someone, especially oneself, make quiet. She had to compose herself before she could reply to this terrible insult. Form the substance of. Greed and ambition composed his personality. Produce a literary work. Communicate with, in writing. Produce a literary work. Write or name the letters that comprise the conventionally accepted form of a word or part of a word. Write music. Record data on a computer. Communicate or express by writing. Create code. Write a computer program. She writes code faster than anybody else. Mark or trace on a surface. A portable enclosure in which babies may be left to play. A penal institution maintained by the government. Create with or from words. Something, usually a supporting document, that is enclosed in an envelope with a covering letter. The act of enclosing something inside something else. A naturally enclosed space. A structure consisting of an area that has been enclosed for some purpose. An implement that is used to write. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. To declare or affirm solemnly and formally as true. Stately heavy-bodied aquatic bird with very long neck and usually white plumage as adult. Sweep majestically. Airplanes were swanning over the mountains. Put into dramatic form. Add details to. Represent something in a dramatic manner. Put into dramatic form. Add details to. Represent something in a dramatic manner. These events dramatize the lack of social responsibility among today's youth. Thread on or as if on a string. Poker in which a player can discard cards and receive substitutes from the dealer. He played only draw and stud. Remove the entrails of. Draw a chicken. Suck in or take air. Draw a deep breath. Pull. A person, apart with 4 horses tied to his extremities, so as to execute him. In the old days, people were drawn and quartered for certain crimes. Give a description of. Anything, straws or pebbles, etc. Taken or chosen at random. The luck of the draw. Finish a game with an equal number of points, goals, etc. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Get or derive. Pass over, across, or through. An entertainer who attracts large audiences. He was the biggest drawing card they had. Direct toward itself or oneself by means of some psychological power or physical attributes. A golf shot that curves to the left for a right-handed golfer. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Draw a weapon. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Make, formulate, or derive in the mind. I draw a line here. The finish of a contest in which the score is tied and the winner is undecided. The game ended in a draw. Take in, also metaphorically. Stretch back a bowstring, on an archer's bow. The archers were drawing their bows. The act of drawing or hauling something. American football. The quarterback moves back as if to pass and then hands the ball to the fullback who is running toward the line of scrimmage. Choose at random. Draw a card. Remove, a commodity, from, a supply source. Cause to move in a certain direction by exerting a force upon, either physically or in an abstract sense. Cause to move by pulling. Draw a wagon. Take liquid out of a container or well. A gully that is shallower than a ravine. Allow a draft. This chimney draws very well. A playing card or cards dealt or taken from the pack. He got a pair of kings in the draw. Bring or lead someone to a certain action or condition. She was drawn to despair. Cause to flow. Cause to localize at one point. Contract. Elicit responses, such as objections, criticism, applause, etc. Engage in drawing. He spent the day drawing in the garden. Flatten, stretch, or mold metal or glass, by rolling or by pulling it through a die or by stretching. Draw steel. Move or go steadily or gradually. Move or pull so as to cover or uncover something. Draw the shades. Reduce the diameter of a wire or metal rod by pulling it through a die. Draw wire. Represent by making a drawing of, as with a pencil, chalk, etc. on a surface. Require a specified depth for floating. This boat draws 70 inches. Select or take in from a given group or region. The participants in the experiment were drawn from a representative population. Steep. Pass through a strainer. Draw pulp from the fruit. Write a legal document or paper. The deed was drawn in the lawyer's office. Write quickly. Add explanatory notes to or supply with critical comments. A printed note placed below the text on a printed page. Get rid of someone who may be a threat by killing. Take by theft. Write quickly. Cut the price of. Stop pursuing or acting. Expressing deep emotion. The dancer's lyrical performance. A short poem of song-like quality. The text of a popular song or musical comedy number. His compositions always started with the lyrics of or relating to a category of poetry that expresses emotion, often in a song-like way. Lyric poetry. Relating to or being musical drama. The lyric stage. Used of a singer or singing voice that is light in volume and modest in range. A lyric soprano. Write lyrics for a song. A sketchy summary of the main points of an argument or theory. A schematic or preliminary plan. Draw up an outline or sketch for something. Describe roughly or briefly or give the main points or summary of. Sketch the outline of the book. Trace the shape of. The line that appears to bound an object. Divide into paragraphs, as of text. This story is well paragraphed. One of several distinct subdivisions of a text intended to separate ideas. The beginning is usually marked by a new indented line. Write about in a paragraph. All her friends were paragraphed in last Monday's paper. Write paragraphs. Work as a paragrapher. Compose verses or put into verse. Compose verses or put into verse. Degree of exposure to public notice. An analysis, often in graphical form, representing the extent to which something exhibits various characteristics. A biochemical profile of blood. An outline of something, especially a human face as seen from one side. A vertical section of the Earth's crust showing the different horizons or layers. Biographical sketch. Represent in profile, by drawing or painting. Write about. The author of this article profiles a famous painter. A formal recommendation by a former employer to a potential future employer describing the person's qualifications and dependability. Requests for character references are all too often answered evasively. A publication, or a passage from a publication, that is referred to. He carried an armful of references back to his desk. The act of referring or consulting. Reference to an encyclopedia produced the answer. A short note recognizing a source of information or of a quoted passage. The most direct or specific meaning of a word or expression. The class of objects that an expression refers to. A remark that calls attention to something or someone. The speaker made several references to his wife. Computer science. The code that identifies where a piece of information is stored. A book to which you can refer for authoritative facts. He contributed articles to the basic reference work on that topic. Refer to. He referenced his colleague's work. An indicator that orients you generally. It is used as a reference for comparing the heating and the electrical energy involved. The relation between a word or phrase and the object or idea it refers to. He argued that reference is a consequence of conditioned reflexes. Something that has been written again. The rewrite was much better. Rewrite so as to make fit to suit a new or different purpose. Write differently. Alter the writing of. Write quickly. Something written by hand. A written version of a play or other dramatic composition, used in preparing for a performance. A particular orthography or writing system. Write a script for. The playwright scripted the movie. Write quickly. Drink down entirely. A piece of poetry. A line of metrical text. Literature in metrical form. Compose verses or put into verse. Familiarize through thorough study or experience. She versed herself in Roman archaeology. Compose verses or put into verse. Write about a particular topic.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.